Yes, and you probably will. My husband hasn't produced a picture in 5 years, Eddie. He's rejected 100 projects, unless you've got another Gone with the Wind in your hot little hand.
No, it's definitely not Gone with the Wind, but what I do have is definitely on the low-budget side. Because, well, I feel that Owen just can't raise big money these days. Let's face it, he's been out of the action too long. So I said to myself, let's create some action. So when I heard about this...
Well, at least tell me the name of the damn picture.
You've got one word of the title right there. All right. I'll fill you in on the project. To begin with, now, this film has been tried before.
You mean it's a remake?
No, it's been started but never finished.
Oh, why not? Ran out of money?
No, it's worse than that. The first time they started filming this thing, the leading lady died. Right on the set.
Well, that's a cheerful note.
Well, she had a heart attack. There was nothing unusual about it. She just keeled over and died right in the middle of her big scene.
I seem to remember something about...
Yeah, well, they replaced her a couple months later. See, they'd invested too much to just give up on it, so, well, they shot around the star while they were finding a replacement. Well, then they started over again. Now, the second leading lady, unfortunately, died in an auto crash.
Wait a minute. You're talking about Myrna Davenport.
Myrna was the second leading lady. She also happened to be my client. You know, a funny thing happened. The day before the crash, she told me that she wasn't happy with the picture. She said she was scared to death just making it. Well, Myrna was always a little flaky, you know.
Yes, I remember you telling me something about the accident.
Well, not to say anything ill of the dead, but, well, there was nothing mysterious about the accident. Myrna was smashed. You know, she was soused. The guy with her, an assistant director on the film, was 30 years younger, very pretty. He's still alive. Not so pretty.
Hey, go on.
Well, about a year later, Ken Sutter decided he'd try to make the film. He bought up all the rights, decided he'd do a location shoot. Got this big house up in the country someplace. Took the whole crew up there. Well, 3 weeks after they started shooting, the damn house burned down.
Mansion of the Damned. That was the film.
It still is the film, Nola. And maybe a damn good one.
Eddie, this is a horror picture. I know they kept the set closed, but I heard that it was absolutely gruesome.
Well, it's supposed to scare people, you know. It gets tougher and tougher to scare people all the time.
But you aren't seriously suggesting that I play the lead in a movie like this?
Some of the biggest names in Hollywood have done horror pics and enjoyed the hell out of it, too.
But this isn't my sort of thing, Eddie. I do character things. Love stories, a family drama, romance. Are you saying that this is the only thing I'm good for now?
No, Nola, nothing like that. You've always been numero uno where I was concerned. You know how I've always felt about you, don't you? If I could have brought you the lead and Gone with the Wind, I'd have done it. But I'm living in the real world. And right now, the only thing the real world has to offer is this.
Well, I am impressed. This is very professionally done. You gave me the impression that you were an amateur.
Well, I wasn't being paid as a cameraman, Mrs. Dorn. I was being paid as a sailor. That made me an amateur.
Well, you're not. Not judging by this tape, anyway. In fact, I don't think you'll take very much on-the-job training at all, if any. As a matter of fact, how are you at interviews?
I beg your pardon?
Interviews. You know, taking pictures of talking heads. A very handsome talking head, as a matter of fact.
Well, that doesn't sound so tough. Who does the talking to the talking head?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, darling, come in, come in. The answer to your question just walked in the door. Darling, I'd like you to meet the newest employee of WMON, Brian Madison. This is April Scott.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot about you.
It's very nice to meet you, Miss Scott.
No. Sorry to disappoint you, but it's Mrs. Scott. You two are going to be partners this evening. This is your cameraman.